Hello there! Welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I'm here today with a Fun Fold Friday. I'm going to be using the Jar of Flowers stamp set, which is retiring very soon. And I'm going to make this pretty card that I personally am going to use mine for a Mother's Day cards. So, excuse me. I like that you start out and you've just got this flat little card, but then you pull on here and it is a slider card, a little pop-up. As you can see, the cards pop up against the background. And yeah, I thought this would be a really pretty card to use for Mother's Day. So let me show you how to make it. I have already cut and scored all of the pieces needed for this, but I will have all of the dimensions listed on my blog post, and the link for that will be in the description box for this video. So I'm going to start out. This is a quarter sheet of cardstock, and as you can see, this is cut just slightly smaller than that. And I do have a score line here. It's about 1.5 inches up from the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and apply some adhesive on there. Let's get my adhesive. This roll is almost out. I think I have another one on standby. There we go. And then this piece of Designer Series paper, which is 1.5 by 9. And again, you don't have to write these down because I will have them all on the blog. I'm about the middle section. It doesn't have to be perfect, but approximately in the middle section, I'm going to line up with that score line on the bottom. Go ahead and adhere that. Okay, so once that's on there really well, I am going to get my tear and tape. And put a little bit on one side, right along the edge here. And then we're going to bring in that quarter sheet. This is actually our card base here. Oh, actually, before we do that, I do need to go ahead and adhere this piece on to the bottom. I forgot that on the last one, and I had to wiggle it in there. There we go. And this is just a 4x4 square, so it doesn't matter which way I put it on here. I'm putting it at the bottom. There we go. And then this piece, I'm going to put this on here. Oops, actually I want to put it this way. So I want to make sure that this is pretty well centered on the card. It doesn't matter top to bottom right now. I just want to make sure it's centered left to right. I'm going to fold this and fold this around just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere, but you don't want it very tight. You do want it snug, but you don't want it tight. If you have it too tight, it's not going to slide up and down very well. So let's make sure we can slide. Yep, we are good. Next thing I also want to do is I want to cut a little notch into this, and I found that this punch here works really well for that. I'm just going to slide this in right here, try to center it. As you can see, I'm just going right at the bottom of that little notch. I don't think I'm centered yet. There we go. That looks better. And pop that out. And there we go. That piece is ready. And now let's see if I can remember how all the other pieces go together. Slide this in. I'm going to go ahead and give this a fold on that score line. And now I have, let's see, I have 3 pieces, or I should have 3 pieces. Uh-oh, I'm missing one of my little tiny pieces. Found it. Gotta have the little piece. So this one here has a little score here, about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and fold on that. I'm going to use tear and tape because I do want this to be pretty strong. It's going to take a lot of movement, it's going to take a lot of friction. You want to make sure that it's on there well. And peel the backing off. And then this piece goes, again, centered left to right, but then you just want the top of this to be at the top of your Designer Series paper. So just stick that right on there and push that down. And there is that piece. There we go. Make sure we're straight. And then I have this little tiny piece here that has 2 score lines. And again, we're going to use tear and tape. And I do like to make sure I have adhesive right near the fold. to make sure that that's going to stick. There we go. And then this piece goes on the, okay, where this score line is right here, the top of this edge is going to go on that score line. And it doesn't have to be dead center, you're not going to really see this piece, but you do want it on that score line. Just like that. Then you just lay this down and fold this over the top of it. And now, as you can see, that little tiny square in there works to hold and to pull this piece up. Okay? It's kind of hard to see with that color. Can you see it there? There we go. So now what we have to do is put a piece back in here on this back side. And I'm going to make sure this is down like that. This piece is going to get folded in a Z shape like this. I apologize for all the clearing of my throat. I'm apparently allergic to Wisconsin. It seems that whatever season it is, I get some allergies going on. But we do want to have your tear and tape on opposite sides. So one end is going to be on one side, the other end is going to be on the other side. Okay, then I'm going to take the adhesive off of one side only, and I'm going to take this, and the part that still has the tape on it, or the backing on it, is going to face out. The sticky side is going to face in, but it's going to be down at the bottom here. So you're just going to set this on here like this, and then push that down so that it adheres right there. Okay? Then take your tear and tape off of this end. And now you want to make sure that you are centered side to side and top and bottom. So I'm going to try to hold that, keep that from sticking to anything while I make sure. You also want to make sure you're covering that white panel that's behind there. That I'm right where I want it to be, centered. And there we go. Make sure that's stuck down really well. And now, when you pull on this bottom part, that little piece helps to lift it up. Ta-da! So now the only thing we have to do, well, we've got to put our flowers on and we need to do some stamping, stamp the inside. And I have already stamped and colored these two pieces. I've already cut this piece out. This was fussy cut out. This piece I can cut out using the punch, the jar punch here. You slide that in there. Oops, I probably cut it a little too short. Here's a little trick for you if you do that. Let me find myself a post-it note here. Or you can even use a piece of tape, whatever. I'm just going to use a post-it strip. That gives me a handle to hang on to so that I can move it around and get it exactly where I want. I don't like wasting scraps of paper, and this just happened to be a scrap piece that fit. But as you can see, there's nothing for me to really hold on to, so this helps with, gives you a little handle. There you go. Ta-da! Now, when I colored these in, I used the blends for the flowers and the stems. So for this flower and for the berries, I used the light and dark Blackberry Bliss. For the, oh, I can't think of the name of what those leaves are. It's on the top of my tongue. For those ones there, though, I used the light and dark soft succulent. For these flowers, of course, my favorite, Petal Pink, light and dark. I used So Saffron for the yellow flowers there. And these leaves here are Mossy Meadow, light and dark. And then on the stems, they were also the Mossy Meadow. But then for the water in my jar, I used one of the watercolor pencils, and that way I could just color over the whole entire thing. I didn't have to work around all of those little pieces. And then I came in with a blender pen and just went right over top of the whole thing and blended it. So because these were alcohol based and not water based, these did not have any effect. They didn't change them at all. They didn't, you know, smear them around or anything like that. So that's how I colored those in. And again, those will all be listed on the blog post. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere the flowers and the jar. I'm just using regular adhesive. Since it's already popping up on here, I don't need to use dimensionals. I'm gonna place that at the bottom. And then for the adhesive behind that, I'm actually gonna put it on here so that I know it's not, if I had put adhesive back here, there's a good chance I'd go too far outside and then it would be sticky everywhere. So we don't want to do that. Stick my flowers on here. Make sure that's well adhered. Yay. And some stamping on the inside. Now I did wait until I put this on here before I stamped the inside because I wanted to see exactly where this was going to line up to where to stamp. And I am actually going to use for the inside of mine, this is our March paper pumpkin kit, and it had a really pretty sentiment for "To a Wonderful Mother." So I wanted to go ahead and grab that and use that. If you don't know anything about Paper Pumpkin, I will put a link to it on there. It is a monthly subscription where you get a kit each month and you really don't know exactly what you're going to get until it shows up. This was the March one. You can see it made 9 really pretty cards. But yeah, I'm going to use this "To a Wonderful Mother" stamp to go on the inside of mine blocks there in front of me. There we go, and I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. There it is. I really like this color. It's such a deep, deep color. Okay, so then let me slide my card up, figure out where I want it to be. There we go. Whoops. I should have possibly made that a little bit tighter because my card doesn't want to stay up. It should stay up a little bit easier. Oh, there we go. And then the last thing to do is add a few pretty butterflies. I really like these brushed brass butterflies. They're so pretty, they're so delicate. Just a nice touch, and since I do a lot of florals, of course, it's a perfect little touch. And let me grab, let me see, this one here. Let's see, I think I'll put one down here. I'll do these a little different than my last one. One here, and then let's grab a little one. I think my little one needs to go right there. There we go. There is our finished card. You can have one. On this one here, I used a gray for my water instead of the blue, so they're a little bit different. But yeah, we'll pop one up. And there you can see my Mother's Day card. Moms, don't watch this video until after Mother's Day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye!